everyone, happy Sunday. Welcome to my FlossTube. This is FlossTube number 8 and today is September 1st. September 1st. First of all, for those of you that are returning watchers, thanks for coming back. And for those of you that are new, thanks for giving me a try. Just some background, my name is Sherry. I go by ShareBearStitcher on FlossTube and Instagram. I tend not to record for longer than an hour just because there's so many floss tubes out there and I know everyone wants to watch all the floss tubes. So I try not to bore you, give you some life updates, and if I have any haul and how much stitching I've gotten done in the past month, I'm happy to show that. Just for starters, I'm not one that goes out and buys a ton of haul because I have been stitching for about 40 some years, and out in a room over there is my stash. It's organized. One day I will go through my stash the way that I have it sorted, and it's my stash slash work room. Someday it'll just be my stash room, but that's for later. So if I buy things now, it's really something that I'm curating because I have so much. I have about 80 fully kitted projects already that I have fully kitted over the years, and I usually just tend to get things from retreats, and nowadays, unless it really is something I know I'm going to stitch, I'll buy it. Otherwise, I'll admire it and I'll admire other people stitching it and say how beautiful it is, but I'm just kind of going to reserve myself. Today I was over in my stash and I was looking at some of the kitted projects I have out there, and I thought, I don't think I'm ever going to stitch that, so I might want to unkit it and maybe get rid of the chart, or just depends. That's a project for later on. As I get closer to retirement, which will be in a couple of years, I will go through them again and decide, do I really like it? If I do, I'll keep it. If I don't, or if my stitching tastes have changed, as we all do, I may get rid of it. So just more to come on that. Otherwise, my floss tubes are pretty short. They're not going to be very long. So if you like what you see here, please hit the like button and subscribe. Otherwise, let's get started. So I'm going to start by going through the month of August. It was really busy. I mean really busy. And if I cough in the middle of all of this, I'm very sorry. I had bronchitis in the middle of all of this. Who gets bronchitis in August? But I did at the most inopportune time imaginable. But I made it through. So starting with the first week of August, I'm just going to talk a little bit about what we did that week, or what I did. I think I mentioned in my last floss tube that my friend Mama Bear Stitchery, Debbie, my friend Tiffany from Emery Events, and my friend Julie from Whip It Up Project Bags were going to come and stay with me for a local retreat that we were having here in the Denver area, put on by a stitching shop, which is the name of our LNS. It was a finishing retreat, which you'll see these two over here, and I'll bring them closer in a second. Stephanie Webb and Beth Twist teamed up and designed these two finishes, or these two charts, for us to finish in the class over the weekend that they were here. Let me grab the charts to show you. This one is called Bird Watcher, and this one is called The Downy. They're both so sweet, and you know, I have put things together in the past, but like I said, it's been a long time since I've done anything like that. So it was fun, and I'll show you what I did. So this is my Downy, or my version of the Downy, and I'll explain in a little bit. And then this one is the Bird Watcher. I did change out some of the flosses in the kit. I used some silks, and I kind of just mixed silk and cotton. And I also changed the fabric. My fabric is from Pole Stitches, and it's Windy Leaves, I'm pretty sure is the name of it. I just thought it looked like the sky, so I went with these two. The pins you see on the top, and I know Mama Bear Stitchery, Debbie, showed them earlier in her video. So we made these in class as well. They were called Make It, Take It's. We also made scissor fobs. It was a fantastic 2 days. We had a lot of fun. But I did change this chart just a little bit because, as I've said in the past, my husband is a photographer by hobby of birds. And if you were in the Lindy Stitches Bird Crush Club, you stitched some of his pictures. Those were his pictures. So he took a look at this one and he said, well, that Downy needs, and you can see he drew them on here, and he went and started trying to draw on the actual chart. And I said, stop. So he said that these were missing. So if you look at mine, you'll see they're stitched there. That little bit made him happy. So I put these downstairs in his reading area. My husband is a huge reader, voracious reader. And he has a whole library where he sits and reads. So those are sitting in front of him so he can look at them. But the class was great while Debbie and Tiffany, and I'll try to insert some pictures here along the way, probably up in here. While we had those 4 days with each other, I hosted a meal for Beth and Steph to come over. So they came over and I cooked, and actually Tiffany and Debbie and Julie and my husband helped put all of this together, so I couldn't have done it without them because we had to do a lot of driving back and forth. But we got up early that Friday. We drove up to Loveland to the Colorado Cross Stitcher shop, and I know Debbie's talked all about it, so please go watch her video. We had a great time. We went to that shop, and then we stopped at a stitching shop so that the ladies could shop there. Only Tiffany has been here before. Debbie, it was her first time here, and I think she fell in love with the Denver area. So more to come on that. But and Julie, of course, loved it, and it was great to have them here. We had a really nice time. Thankfully, you know, I'm blessed to have the room to put everybody up. So my husband and I are empty nesters now. Thank you, God. But it was great. We had a great time. They left on Monday. Tuesday, I woke up with bronchitis. No one else got sick. No one but me. It was pretty bad by Wednesday. I had to do a telehealth visit. I couldn't even, I stayed in bed the whole time. Well, at least for 24 hours, almost 2 days. And then got some drugs in me, got up, worked. I've said this before, exercise is incredibly important to me. Lifting weights is incredibly important. And I couldn't do anything for 2 weeks. I barely could walk on my treadmill while I worked. So my voice is still a little scratchy, but I had to get better because that next week was my daughter's bridal shower. So thankfully her friends hosted the bridal shower in a city up in the foothills of Denver called Morrison. And she, my stepdaughter and one of the daughter-in-laws came up from Texas. And so we had them here, and they were a huge help. The shower was beautiful. I'll try to insert a picture or two here as well. We had a really nice time. However, when you're sick and you already live in a high elevation and then go up the hill, as we say here, to an even higher elevation, everything kind of just came up and up and up, and I was not good. So it extended my bronchitis a little bit. Let me take a sip of water here, just in case I start to cough. So after all of that, everyone left on the following Monday, work week, the third, and I got stitching in between all of this, so I'm going to show you what I've done because I was able to stitch a lot. And then the following week, I had my sister-in-law and her husband came for one night because they were going to the mountains for a week. So I have had company every single weekend. In the middle of all of that, I have done a lot of stitching. So, but only on 3 projects because I'm really trying to focus on getting the dragon piece done for my husband and Muka that I have had kitted and been working on here or there for a couple of years. I need to get Muka done. So I am really focused on these 2 pieces. But to break things up, I've thrown in a shop model. I'm stitching a shop model for Under the Sea Fabrics. If you're in San Antonio or planning a trip to San Antonio, look up the shop. Leslie's shop and Jen and Amy Jane, they do a fantastic job in the shop. They take orders. They will get you what you need. Visit Leslie's shop where you can personally touch and look at the fabric. So let me show you the shop model I'm stitching for her. And I had to wait. I think I said last time, grabbed a piece of 40 count thinking we could do it on 40 count. We could not because there are a ton of Rainbow Gallery silk lames in here, and 40 count, it just was looking all kind of bunched up, and I'm weird about the way stitches look. So I told Leslie, you got to send me a different piece of fabric. And she did. She sent me the same fabric, just in 32 count. So I'm going to show you here. It's Rooibos, 32 count, and I'm stitching Dirty Annie's Venetian Lion for her. So let's see if you can, oh, this is a really good representation of what that looks like. You can see I'm using 1 strand of the silk lame, and it's laying beautifully. And wow, that thing is bright, isn't it? It's so pretty. And you know, when you look at the chart, I don't have a picture of the chart, so I'll try to insert one if I can over here on the left where my hand is. It's not a lot of stitching, but it's a lot of stitching, if that makes sense. It doesn't look like it's a lot when you look at the whole chart. It doesn't look like a lot, and honestly, if I really focused on this, I could probably finish it in 3 solid weeks, really. Of course, I do work, so I can't do that, but I try to stitch on it at least once or twice a week. So this really wasn't a lot of stitching, what you're seeing here on this. This was just really a few days, and it went that quick. So I think it's really coming out great. I think on this fabric, it's close. It's very similar to what Dirty Annie's calls for. I think you'll love it. I think you should give it a shot. So that was the shop model. The second piece is my husband's dragon from 2x2 Stitch Art on Etsy. And you know, he's like, when are you going to work on my dragon? When are you going to finish my dragon? Are you finishing my dragon before the end of the year? He's that funny. So I'm going to try. I think I've told all of you that we are going to Italy for my daughter's wedding in October. And if I take anything with me, it might be this if it's not done. I'm hoping it'll be done. But I am pretty far now. So this is, sorry, I was going to say Venetian Dragon. This is not. This is 2x2 Stitch Arts Dragon from Etsy. It's a lot of stitching, guys. It is a lot of stitching. I'm using, the whole border is Silks For You PR 181. And I think Stitch Brat is using the same thing on an Ink Circles maybe, so I would go look her up on Instagram. She periodically posts pictures of the same silk. It is beautiful, and that is a great shot. You can see what it looks like. Now, the darker brown inside the border is Coco Lot from Silken Colors, and I'm only using 1 strand. So both of those are 1 strand. And then inside is the dragon, and there are 2 dragons. There's one going this way and one going the other way. And that is using scales, and it's cotton, and it is from Night Stalker Calling. And it is a great color. absolutely great. It's not really showing. Let me see if I can grab a skein of it to show you. I do have one here. It's not really grabbing the variegation, but you can see it there. Oh yeah, that's a good shot. It is so cool. It is absolutely so cool. So my husband had the idea that he wanted his dragons to have red eyes. You know, I don't know why he wants red eyes. So I grabbed a bunch of different stones or treasures from Mill Hill. I grabbed some red ones. Let's see if I can grab them out of here. Yeah, or these are like burnt orangey red, but he liked them, so I'm probably going to use those. Otherwise, this is really coming along nicely, and oh, gosh, it's just so much stitching. I will say, I sort of binged watched this last week, 6 seasons of Vikings, and I was able to get across all the way down here, all of this and all of this, watching the 6 seasons of Vikings. What a great show. Never saw it before. Always thought I would like to watch it. I really loved it. I just finished the last 2 episodes last night. So this was a nice companion piece to that, even though there are no dragons in Vikings. And then, finally, there's Muka. And I've made some progress on her. I really didn't have a lot done. I've said before in the past, this part right here, oh, just so hard to stitch. Not hard to stitch. Let me correct what I'm saying there. Mirabilia, Nora Corbett charts, they are not hard. So for those of you that sit and look at these things and say, I could never do it, they are not hard. Anyone can stitch them, I promise you. That one was one of my first. Sleeping Beauty, not hard. It's just a lot of intense stitching. So when you look at things like her dress, it's block stitching. Now, the thing that reminds me of Tiger Stripes, I will say, if anyone from Witchell ever watched this, please, 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 let's not put numbers all next to each other, 4, 5, and 6, because after a few hours, it's hard to see. And that was hard to me. But I made it across. Oh gosh, this is not going to sit up here. So let me fold it in half because I want to show you what I did. It's a big piece of fabric, this fat half. So I did all of this right here since the last time I showed this. And now I think I don't have much left. I'm going to grab the picture. I think it's in my bag here. Which is why I say I'm really focusing on trying to finish her because, yeah, you can see. I mean, I have all of this part just about done, and then I have all of this and just kind of this sprinkly stuff around here. So it really doesn't look like I have much left to do, right? So I think I can finish this by the end of the year. At least I'm really hoping I can finish it by the end of the year. I have some finishes in a bag out there that I have shared in the past. I think With Thy Needle and Thread, every opening flower is out there done, and there might be another Plum Street smaller one done. I want to get them framed, and I'm trying to get the dragon done. So if I can get Muka done, I will send Muka to Jill Runsell because all of my Mirabilias go to Jill. And everything else, I've been taking to Colorado Cross Stitcher, to the framer she has there once a week. Her name is Sydney. She's there on Saturdays. I think her company is called Hephaestus Frames. She's fantastic. I have some pieces down on the wall that she's done for me. No complaints. Beautiful work. So my husband's dragon will be framed by her, and the finishes I have out there in the bag will be framed by her. But this is Muka. I didn't say what this was on. This is on 32 count Yes, this is 32 count Heaven's, sorry, Heaven's Fury from Under the Sea Fabrics. Whenever I take this with me, which I will talk a little bit about where I'm going next week, but whenever I take this with me to a retreat, people come up to me and say, what is that fabric? Because seeing this fabric in person, it's pretty, it's dramatic. It's very dramatic. And honestly, this is one of my favorite colors that Leslie dyes. I think it's just beautiful. It's a chameleon to me because it can go with so many things. And I just think, I was worried a little bit about the over one skin, but if you see that, it came out really good. And it looks like there's a hole in her neck, but that's where I'm going to hang a bead, a leaf bead. So anyway, this is Muka. Almost done, almost. So as far as stitching goes, that's kind of it. I'm trying, like I said, to just work on those 3 pieces. I have a whole shelf down here that has my current whips that I work on. Sometimes, you know, I'm sure you all know, you get bored working on something. Like I found myself during my 6 season episode of Vikings over the past week, maybe week and a half. I found myself getting a little bored with the dragon piece, so I would put it down and then pick up Muka for a couple hours and work on her, but the majority of the time was spent on the dragon. I just don't want to rotate too many projects in, because if I do, I feel like I'll slow down enough. I'll slow down on the ones I really want to finish, and I really just want to get this dragon done and Muka done. So those are going to be my 2 focus pieces for the next couple of months, at least, I think. At least for the next month, which is going to be busy as well. So let's talk a little bit about haul. I did have some haul. So I think I said at the very beginning, I don't usually buy charts unless there is something out there that I've seen that I know I'm going to stitch. I can appreciate them and say, wow, I really like that, or imagine that I could hang something like that in my house somewhere. But if I just know, I heard this line that the road ahead is much shorter than the road behind. And, you know, not to be gloomy or anything, none of us know how much time we have left. And I am 61, I'm almost 62, and, you know, I think I'm going to live a long time, but who knows? And I hope I can see forever to stitch. Otherwise, wow, I'll be bored out of my mind. But I know I have so much already, and I've been so fortunate over life through all the trials and tribulations of life, to be able to accumulate the stash that I have when I, at one time, got rid of everything I had and started over. I really love what I have, and I know I'll never finish it all, which, you know, that's life, right? Just do what you love, be happy. Anyway, so stash. I only bought fabric. That's the one thing I will buy. I will continue to buy. If I see a piece of fabric, or I look at my stash and go, you know, I don't have a lot of yellow. So I think there are certain charts that would lend themselves to a yellow fabric. So I did purchase one. I think I showed it last time. And then my friend Tiffany went to the Grace Notes retreat. I think it was in Pennsylvania. And while she was there, we were texting about something else. And I said, hey, look on the fabric table, because she sent me a picture of the fabric table. And you guys, that fabric table was massive. I said, could you go look and see if they have a piece of yellow that I would like? So she grabbed a bunch of yellows, put them all together, and took a picture. And I picked one. And I was able to get her to send me this. It's lemon meringue, fat half Lugana in 28 counts. So it's more or less for a Mira. And it's yellow. And it's really pretty. So I would say that's looking fairly close to what it actually looks like. And maybe it looks more striking yellow. It's really soft and pretty. Think of a ripe, sweet lemon in real life. That's what it looks like. It's really pretty. And I don't have any yellow. I have a lot of cream and a lot of wild colors in fabrics, but I don't have yellow. So this is going to be used for a mirror someday, I think. So that was my one from Tiffany. So that was a gift. It really wasn't my haul. What I did do when Debbie, Tiffany, and Julie were here was when we drove to the stitching shop, excuse me, the coughing is going to start. Sorry. I did buy some fabric. So I got color and cotton Chantilly. These are really light, just neutral colors. So Chantilly. And that looks pretty much like what it looks like in real life. It is 40 count fat quarter. And when you buy fabric from the stitching shop, they cut it for you and then they put it in these little bags or baggies with the label like this. So if you ever order from them, that's how you'll get it in the mail. Color and cotton aged paper in 36 count. I mean, that's pretty. It's looking more pinky brown on there, but that's actually what it looks like. And then Lap and Loops, which I've never tried, but I do have a couple of pieces. And this is called Jackalope. This is pretty cool. I thought that was, and that's a good representation of what it looks like. Excuse me. One thing about bronchitis in Colorado, you can be healthy, but the cough stays for weeks on end until one day you wake up and it's gone. And then finally Inca, which I saw last year when it came out. Someone shared it online from a retreat. It was an exclusive to a shop or something. And I said, oh my gosh, that's so pretty. It is almost, yeah, that's really good. It's almost like, this is gonna sound gross, but you remember those days when I will say in days of old, when people used to leave butter on the table and leave it out in that little butter dish, and you may still do that. That's what the color, the base color is, and then it has a little bit of like pinky tan in it. It's just really pretty. And that's Fox and Rabbit, and you know, they hit it out of the park with their fabric. So that was it. And I know now, I was looking at my bill, my credit card bill the other day, and I know I bought stuff at Colorado Cross Stitcher. For the life of me, I can't figure out what it was, and I've already put it away in my my stash haul storage area. So I have no idea what it was I bought, but I'm pretty sure it was fabric because I remember standing at the fabric and saying, okay, I like this, I think I'll take it. I know I didn't buy any charts, and I didn't buy any floss or any fibers, silks or anything, so it had to be fabric. I just don't know what color, sorry. One more thing I needed to share was when Debbie came, she gave us all, she didn't have to do this, you know, when I invite you to my home, you never have to bring me a gift, that's just silly. But she did, and I said thank you. What she gave me, isn't that gorgeous? It's a silk hank. I mean, wow, that is so pretty. Don't know what I'll use it on, but wow, it's so pretty. PR 168 is the color, and it's from Silks For You. So I think that is pretty much it on all the things I had for the month. Now, upcoming for October. So for September, I wanted to say, first of all, next Monday, my husband and I are leaving for Portland for a week. I'm going to Pinwis, and Pinwis starts on Thursday, I think. Thursday the 12th, I think. But we're leaving on Monday because we're going to the coast, and we're going to spend some time just relaxing. His birthday is September 11th, so we're going to spend his birthday there. As I said earlier, he's out actually right now. He's up in the mountains in Netherlands birding. and taking pictures as he does. And he wants to go do that. He said he just wants to bird the coast for a little bit. So we're going to go out to the coast, spend some time over there, have some good food, just hang out. Just he and I spend some time with each other. And then we'll drive over to Tigard to the Embassy Suites Hotel and be there for the Pinwist retreat, which I'm very excited for. The two designers are Beth Twist, Heartstring Sampler, and Teresa Kogut. So it'll be good to see them. I have been to a Teresa Kogut retreat before. It was fantastic. But honestly, guys, Pinwist retreats are awesome. And if you have not ever been and consider ever spending the money to get out to a retreat and you think, oh, that's a lot of money, hands down, it is 1,000% worth it. Janine and her team put on the best retreat. The hotel is fantastic. The hospitality is wonderful. The people involved make everyone feel welcomed. You can go by yourself and leave with friends. That's what a great time it is. I am so looking forward to going. This will be the third time I go. I will make it a point to go every year as long as I can get in. It is a great time. So that's the 1 week in September. And then for work, travel starts for me again. So I'll be traveling a lot for work. And I've said this already a couple of times. In October, my daughter is getting married in Tuscany. So we are going to Italy for a week. My husband is driving me crazy with the planning, but so far we have some good things lined up, and it'll be a really great time. My daughter had her last alterations appointment, or her first alterations appointment. We really didn't need to do much. That dress was made for her. So we will be going to have it packed in a couple of weeks for her final fitting, and then have it packed. They do the packing for you, and they tell you don't open it until you get to your destination for the wedding. So anyway, it'll be a really good time, and then after that, more work travel for the rest of the year, and then it will be the end of the year, you guys. 2024, where did it go? So one last thing, again, thank you all for watching. Thank you all. If you're a subscriber, thank you for subscribing. I know that there's so many FlossTubes out there. I never did this to have 1 million subscribers or to have just, I think this is just good. This is good. And I feel pretty blessed. And so I've been thinking a lot about like giveaways and subscriber thresholds, and we're pretty close to 1,000. So I think when I get to 1,000, I'm going to give away something I've fully kitted, including the project bag that goes with it. Just haven't decided what yet. Maybe a mirror, maybe something, who knows? But I think that's what I'm going to do. I think that will help me gift something to someone else that might make them really happy. And, you know, it might be something I'm never going to stitch. And it will help me to reduce what I have, because I have a lot, and then curate my stash even more. Because, you know, stitchers, I will say, are the most generous people on the planet. It doesn't matter what your politics are. It doesn't matter where you live. If you're a stitcher, we already have something in common. And whenever you meet another stitcher, you want to share what you have. If they're lacking something, you want to give them that thing. Because we know how important it is to us and how it makes us feel. So I just wanted to say more on that when I hit that 1,000 subscriber threshold. I'm going to do that. I'm going to have a giveaway. So anyways, I hope everybody has a fantastic September. Wish me luck on this silly cough, and hopefully it'll go away. I'll try to insert some pictures. I think I'll put one of the bridal shower and just a couple of small pictures, maybe some from the retreat with Steph and Beth, and I'll try to take some when we go to Pinwist as well. So it was great seeing you. Have a wonderful September. I can't look forward to watching all your FlossTubes out there and seeing what you're putting on now that I've binge watched 6 seasons of Vikings. Have a great month. Talk to you all later. Bye-bye.